Hi guys, so took the BX for a rolling road tuning session the other week, and it took about an hour, basically strapping the car down and then tinkering with the carburettor a bit, because I thought the issue that this has on acceleration was carburation. It seemed the most likely thing given the fact the time was all set correctly, etc. The numbers on the jets for this new carb are different to the ones on the original, so it was to me kind of the obvious likely reason. And the guy changed the jet on the main secondary jet because that was a lot different, and tried it again, exactly the same thing. Basically you watch the curve go up and it just suddenly just drops like a cliff, and he said, having just changed the jet, that's not carburation, that's somewhere on the ignition system, that's the reason it's just dropping the way it is. Which was a bit annoying, because I thought, well, it's running all 4 cylinders on idle, and if you rev it without being under load, it will rev. But if you don't have it, unless you have it, and if you try and put it under load, it just fights around. And he said, go for the ignition system. If you have to replace everything, that'll be the way of doing it, but do one thing at a time so you can sort of see the difference. And been sort of trying to do it because I've spent a fair bit on this car already, so I thought I don't want to chuck loads of money at it. It's driving, it's working, so we'll do it methodically, do it sort of start with the cheap stuff and then work your way up. This car does have some extra bits and pieces that I'm not used to, which I'll show you. So because this has got, if we look just down here, this has got a Hall effect distributor. So whereas on the Renaults they've got, well, because I've made them this way, they've all got points condenser and then coil up there. I've not been used to this setup, whereas on this car it's got a Hall sender. Now basically a Hall sender is essentially just magnetic pickup, so instead of having a set of points open shutting like that with the cam opening up and shutting them, this just has a magnet that's saying, yep, that's where each cylinder is, and then it sends a pulse back up this wire to the coil. Now I didn't know what the hell that box down there was. On the Renaults, the 1108 engines, I'm not sure, definitely on the Mark II 5s for definite, because this is where I know the system from. On the Mark II, you've got the 956 engine, which is just plain points ignition, and then you've got the 1108 engine, which is basically exactly the same block with a different set of pistons and liners to increase the CCs a bit more. Ironically, it started out with 1108 and then they redesigned the pistons and liners so that you could get the same power from 956. But yeah, bit of trivia for you that's completely pointless to most people. But yeah, the main difference between the two is, on the ignition side at least, is that the 956 is basically just points and coil. The 1108 has transistorized, and basically on those cars what it means is you have a little thing like that little box down there, that is, I think it's either just below it or possibly to the side of the coil, but basically the points feed to that and then go to the coil. And what it basically does, it's a very high-tech version of a condenser. So whereas obviously condenser wears out, it then can't absorb half the spark energy being created by the points, which then means that it then doesn't do the job of soaking up some of that power, which then means it basically causes the points to burn a lot stronger and burn out a lot quicker. The transistorized system does exactly the same job as a condenser, but it's more reliable, doesn't have to be replaced after so long of being used. Now basically what this box actually does on this car is, as the tuner explained to me, because I didn't have a clue, to be honest. I don't really touch electronic ignition if I don't have to, because points I understand. and I can see visually I can repair them. I've rebuilt distributors as you've seen on previous videos a while back. But yeah, so basically the Hall effect system doesn't produce a strong enough pulse to actually tell the coil what to do. So what it does is, this wire that goes from the Hall sender goes up to that little box, and then that little box then sends a signal to a coil. So he said to me, what could be happening is, it could be either the Hall sender itself is breaking down, because obviously it's 36 years old, the magnets might not be strong, or at a certain rev it's just giving up because it just can't be bothered anymore. Alternatively, the booster there could be also playing up, and obviously put under strain of being under the very top end of all the action. Then yeah, it's going to be saying, yeah, I'm 36 years old, I've kind of had enough of this. Or additionally, the coil could be doing exactly that. It's a bit of a difficult one. It's got to kind of change things and try things out. It's kind of a reason in some ways why having a boot full of random spares is actually quite useful. Not because you might need them, just because you can swap them and say, well, this is a known good item, so now I've eliminated that being an issue. So yeah, what I've just done is, I was about to explain how the system works between the points and the coil, but I'll do a different video for that, just to keep things a bit simpler. What I've just done, however, is the simple part is the rotor arm and the cap. Now, typically speaking, yeah, nothing really wrong with that at all. It looks absolutely fine, as does rotor arm. That'll probably go on and live forever as far as I'm concerned, because I don't really see, besides when these crack, and then you basically get it where, although it will be, say, there, it will be arcing around, and it will be like Blackpool illuminations and fireworks and stuff, and if you see it in the dark, you'll know that you've got a cracked cap, because it will be sparking, you'll see it very easily. But yeah, so these being however old, no idea, no history of the car, I thought, right, they're the cheapest things I can do first. Found the right part numbers online, ordered them, got these bits, so I'm just trying these bits. Plug leads, they're on the way as well. I was inquiring today about coil and the other bit, and they are hopefully available possibly tomorrow, if fingers are crossed tight enough. But I've just taken that off now, because of the way this is laid out. It takes a little bit more brain power to remember which cylinder goes where. I think this also runs that way, so it's anti-clockwise rather than clockwise. So again, it's just something else to throw you off a little bit. Because obviously, if it was a Renault one, I could pretty much put my hand on the distributor and I could tell exactly where they were with my eyes shut, because I've done them that many times. But this, just a bit of different orientation, can surprisingly throw you off. So I thought, okay, I'll just pop them over one by one, and you've probably already worked out what I'm about to say. Yes, that's the main HT lead going to the centre there, and the wire literally just pulls straight out of it. It's not even crimped. And when we have a look, yeah, it came out like that. And I think, I believe so anyway, tried to have a look at the other end, I couldn't get there at all. I believe that basically that's supposed to be crimped inside there. But the fact that seemingly was only really being held in place by the rubber on the outside and the way friction fits itself on there, I've got a funny feeling I might know what was going on here, and it would explain why you kind of get almost pulses of power. So the reason why me and the chap at the rally kind of concluded carb was because of the fact that it would punch the power, so it would almost be as though it would be suffocated and suddenly get a load full and then back off like a yo-yo. So you'd be thinking, okay, so something's not quite right with the carburation, so it kind of gets it, then it doesn't, then it gets it, sort of same way as like when it hunts on idle, and it's because there's not enough fuel, so it's kind of building it up, then releasing it all, and yeah. So the way it was behaving was kind of what seems like fuel, but now I've found this, I'm kind of more thinking myself, well, okay, so obviously you got a rather crap connection there to say the least, which obviously means that you're only going to be getting sort of it'll be working but not to full capacity. But then if you think about it, as the engine's rocking around as well, you are going to have vibration, which also then means that that's probably not going to be making, that's going to be probably breaking and making connection on off like a yo-yo. So quite potentially this could well be the problem. Could well be. Don't honestly know, but the way that's just pulled out kind of suggests that it's definitely going to be one of the weakest links in the chain. So yeah, simple things. We're going to hopefully find out very soon if it's the thing. I haven't got any other leads on me at the minute, so I've just borrowed this one off the Super 5. I can't see that it's that's going to make a difference being off a different car. HT lead should just fit straight on as far as I think, so obviously as long as it fits. Obviously these ones are totally different because they go right into the head to reach spark plug, whereas on my 5s they just stick out the sides. But yeah, this is virtually identical design, so yeah, should fit hopefully and work okay, and at least let us trial it. So yeah, fun and games. Hopefully if it's that simple I will be very happy, because it saves an awful lot of faffing around and spending money. But we'll find out.